Welcome to Boxing with Batman at Splinter's Dojo. Batman's on the telly. Right, so that doesn't work as a camera angle, so we're just going to have to adjust it to about there. Hey, that's a good sunrise, right? This is a kick bag, and you can get them cheap from Alibaba, and you just fill them with a camping bag, or a cheap duvet, like Asda or something. And then they're like all high togs. So they absorb a lot of moisture and keep your house warm, and it's a good all round sort of thing to fit on. It is a heavy kick bag, but you can sort of do whatever you want. I'm fighting at a kilt because why not? And I say fighting because that is what boxing is. The art of the pugilist, striking and defense in hands. I like to practice all martial arts because MMA and all that stuff, but first of all, pacifism, all that one punch stuff, flowing water, crushing wave and all that. Bruce Lee, you like water. But that's all, Lao Tzu, a bowl is most useful when it is empty. And situational awareness is more important than anything else. Hence, we always go to the wall, practice our Wing Chun, actually developed for small Korean women, off of Aikido. Aikido developed after Japanese prisoners of war, when they went and attacked them. Japan, conquering nation, China, the survivor, the Mongols, of the great Khans. History. It rhymes, it's like poetry. Because the most important thing, the Wing Chun stance is trying to keep a centre, because that's what it's about. Keeping a centre, knees knuckled. But that's why the Scotsmen wear a kilt, because you can't see where our legs are going. That's the way to do it. Always watch the hips, never the knees. But that's bollocks, you see, with all your senses. Of course, most powerful kick is the centre strike, but that's the one that you can bayonet style it. I hope I didn't flash anything there. It will get edited if so. But you get a natural rhythm because, in Brazil, they do the capoeira. Capoeira, from the capoeira, it's a Roman tribe. Not, roaming, not Roman, but originally, Aboriginal, boomerang inventors, etc. The bushwhacker style. And then, bushwhacker, Gurkha word sort of thing. Hindi, Indo-Asian, that was their military style. Again, comes from the British SAS troops because we were, all about just bushwhacking folk. The bushwhacker, from the kukra, from the kukri, from the shikai to the boomerang. That's the Scotsman Highland way. Just charge down the hill. You're William, you're Wallace. Get locked in my castle and suffer big losses because he burned them. Well, no, he didn't. But Robert Bruce, that was his winning strategy. Burn all the castles down. We're not doing Culloden Mark II. You know what I'm saying? Vinny Vinny Victory. Not so keen on karate, hence why I prefer Aikido, because it's sort of a mix of that throwing style of judo mixed with the centre style of Japan. Ooh, you see, that's what I like about this, it'll let you know when your treating are too rough. Plus, I've popped a little bit of elastic around these, so even though there's two hooks out right now, we can have still kept hitting it. But like I say, this is a heavy kick bag. It's not exactly meant for the sort of workout that we're doing right now. It's more meant for a little run up and practicing your leg kicks. But the most important thing when practicing a kick isn't just putting all your weight into it, it's all about the balance. Yoga is just as important as anything else because movement, timing, life, it's all about rhythms. Hence why I drum. But, Again, all about balance, coordination, all this Freudian left, right, brain bollocks. It's all bollocks. Your brain's your brain, and it makes connections and shrinks gradually as it gets older. Look up Einstein's brain if you don't believe me. Statistically smaller than the average human, but one of the smartest IQs on the planet. Wonder why that is. Alright, changing bags. We're gonna do one more kick. Yeah! And that's why we only do one kick at a time. Just don't strain your ankle. I'll show you guys some yoga in a sec after I just fix this. You just sort of see, I'll click naturally when you're stressed. That's fine. Again, look up the medical studies if you don't believe me. People have tested this. They go, oh, you just got to keep cracking them. You will crack naturally as you grow and develop. The muscles never stop growing. But when they get, lackadaisical and you're having to burn muscles instead of fat, because the human body is ever changing, as is the world, as is entropy. We're not a closed loop system. That's one of the great myths, because we're in a solar system. Because we're in a solar system. We orbit a sun that orbits another sun that orbits a gravitational well. We're continuously fed by energy, so it's not as if you can submit to entropy. That's where the whole Big Crunch, Big Bang loop thing comes into. Because time might be linear, but it's definitely a circle. Oh, flat disk on Discworld. It's this fucking concept all this time, but we proved gravity interesting. Not recently, but we have proved it. Right, I'm gonna change bags now. That's better. And these pull-up bars aren't expensive. Available at Amazon at your cheapest convenience, and all this. Well, buy properly, install properly, buy cheap. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be the thing about doors. I left it over here. Yeah. But before that, I wanted to stretch. Do the old Goggins bollocks there, where it's just all chins and nothing else. Ah, of course he has. Fucking Batman. This is the problem. My name is also Bruce, and no coincidence, my favorite superheroes growing up, the Hulk and Batman. What does that say about me? Nothing, because I like the question now. Oh no, can't do that one, damn it. Because that just works your back. But all that leg stuff works your core. You start off with it, and I literally used to have a thing, because I hated setups. I still hate setups. That's why I like to do them there. Oh, but your body's like a system or whatever. Stuff goes in, shit goes out. Same way as the universe goes in a circle or whatever. I'm gonna get some water. Always stay hydrated. Try your best not to smoke, but vaping's slightly better. But if you have asthma, consult a doctor, and they'll give you medical steroids for it, which is what the fucking Roy boys do. So not me though. I'm just naturally insane. Turns out there was a lot of spit in that glass because I've been suffering from a chest infection. So I got banana instead. They're good, they're full of potassium. Don't put them in fires. They burn green, but don't do that. But they do that. It's fun. Same with like pistachio shells. Oh, Captain, wow. I'll bury your hair in your nails, but it's a styrofoam. But like, no, with a styrofoam, the artificial sweetener we created, putting gum. That's why I like gum's really good around this morning. Just like, you're like, oh my god, fire! And you're like, yeah, you're breathing potassium smoke. Congratulations, you're fucking high off your own supply, dude. Bare necessities and whatnot. So I'm gonna for that one called eye horror look, you're like just doing like small exercises. Because you think about it, space travel isn't really an option for like people, for like working class or whatever, unless you're like Bezos or like one of these mega millionaires. But like, we're on that. It's technically a prison. So you can work for anything, just go for a run or whatever. What do you want I've done? I'm being the same. I had the same thing in my parents' house. Both my parents' houses. My dad's building was built last century, full of asbestos. Well, dust. It hasn't been properly inspected, I don't reckon. But you know that like YouTube data thing you can do with like specs for nerds? It's a radar. You just fucking watch the quality strength, but like forget about all the numbers. Watch the little blips and the things in the radar. It's literally like a Bluetooth radar, which is like a more advanced version of the first initial radar. Oh. Like back that one. Oh, to cyrpus now you get to see my back. I also can't turn and face that way. One of the disadvantages of cyrpus stands. I'm proving myself wrong here, apparently. Whoa! And my left isn't as powerful as a hand. I'm giving away trade secrets, but whatever. Not in the fighting trade. Am I the Gipple King, eh? You're not supposed to call them Gippos, but you're supposed to call them Travellers, but I'm from Turkey, so what does that fucking matter? And by that I mean I'm a stealing traveller, but like not really a stealer and I don't need to anymore. But I have. Everyone has. And it's called being an opportunist. Nothing else. Nothing else. And sometimes folk let you. They know what you're doing, you know what I mean? If you've got, there's no point in taking. I don't think anyway. It's not a right thing to do. You could be an honourable thief, if you're like a Robin Hood, but like, that's just because taxes are like, stupid. And it started just to fund the war between England and France, hence the old alliance, because it goes back further than money, because English are just royalists. And they're royalists from every goddamn nation, because we as an island were conquered by other invaders. We're probably invaders ourselves sexually as well, although to argue that, you have to go all the way to Pangea. So what's the point? As every like RMPS teacher will tell you, were you there? And it's like, no, like, come on. Like, the scientific method is as old as Jesus fucking Christ, and the Buddha, and, the first writings of the Bhagavad Gita, and the pagan religion still back from that, and we've kept logbooks with, like, Peruvian tribes in the form of verbal storytelling. And when you talk about, genetic memory, it literally exists. But then when you talk about machines, like in the scientific science fiction way, it's always going to be closer to Star Trek, but then Star Trek Picard have done this stupid AI uprising thing from Dune, another stolen concept, just like the Force, from Dune, which comes from the Voice, which comes from an older religion called the Star, which is older than the Masons. Stonemasonry, by the way. Pyramid builders. That's all they fucking are now, teachers. And fucking architects. All that got explained to you guys during COVID. None of you fucking paid attention. Children, pay attention. I know it's like a million things going on at once, but like, I'm 25, and if you're a child, you shouldn't be watching this, by the way. But like, I'm 25, I have worked since I was 15 years old, I had a mental episode after university that caused me to drop out of university. And COVID for me was great. I already been on a ward in solitary confinement for 7 months. Are you telling me I get to be locked in a room for 2 years in a house where I can do what I want? Oh, give me strength. And this thing's lagging now, so I'm gonna cut it.